All right, let's get right into it. Every once in a while, a new piece of tech drops that doesn't just feel like an upgrade, it feels like a genuine leap into the future. And today, we're talking about one of those moments. We're talking about Claude Opus 4.5, a new AI model that's causing some serious waves. But is it just hype, or has the entire game really truly changed? Let's find out.
Yeah, we're not easing into this one. We're starting with this incredibly bold statement from the source material. This isn't just, hey, this is pretty good. This is a flat out declaration that Opus 4.5 is playing in a whole different league, especially when it comes to one of the hardest things we can ask an AI to do, write code. So, what on earth is behind a claim this big?
Well, it all kicks off with a concept that honestly has felt like science fiction up until right now. This new model is so good, it's forcing people to come up with a whole new term just to describe what it can do.
Now, coding AGI is a heavy-duty term, so let's be super clear here. We are not talking about a machine that can do everything a human can, the Hollywood version of AGI. We're talking about something way more specific, but maybe just as world-changing, an AI that has hit superhuman levels in one very specific area: software development.
So what does that actually mean? It means we're talking about an AI that's not just a little helper, not just an autocomplete tool. No. This is an AI that can understand brand new problems, design complex systems, use other tools, and squash those big, nasty bugs just as well as, or maybe even better than a senior human engineer. But look, a claim like that, it needs some serious proof. And Anthropic brought the receipts. They gave Opus 4.5 the exact same coding exam they give to their human job applicants. And these are some of the toughest tests in the industry. And it beat every single human. It's not just about writing code snippets anymore. It's about real-world problem solving, and this is huge, writing code that actually works on the first try. That is a massive leap forward. And if you want to see that power in action, check this out. In one example, the model was given a simple prompt, something like, build me a cool first-person shooter game with enemies, guns, and power-ups. And the result? A fully functional game. We're talking different waves of enemies, sound, special effects, even an XP system. Building something that complex in one shot just wasn't possible before. But the leap in performance is really only half the story here. What makes this whole thing so disruptive is that it isn't just better, it's also cheaper and faster. It completely breaks one of the oldest rules in the book when it comes to technology. You know the old saying in tech, right? Better, cheaper, faster. Pick two. You could have a better, faster product, but it was going to cost you. Or you could get a cheap one, but it would be slower or not as good. Well, according to the source, Opus 4.5 is the first AI model to just completely shatter that rule. You get all three. It's better, it's cheaper, and it's faster. So just how much cheaper are we talking? It is 3 times less expensive than its predecessor, Opus 4.1. That is not a small price drop. That's a fundamental shift in the market that changes the entire economic equation of building software. And here's the kicker, the big strategic move. Anthropic has now made its absolute best top-of-the-line model available for the same price as its mid-tier model. And they've made it the default choice in their coding product. That is a massive vote of confidence, and it's a clear signal that they want to get this insane power into as many developers' hands as possible. But of course, all this power under the hood is only as good as the tools you have to use it. And on that front, there are some pretty game-changing updates as well. Anyone who's ever tried to build something really complex with an AI knows that pain, that moment when you hit the context limit and the model completely forgets what you were talking about 5 minutes ago. It's so frustrating. Well, Anthropic has a new technique that basically lets the AI intelligently summarize your conversation as you go, so it never forgets the important stuff. This means you can have these super long, practically infinite chats that just don't fall apart. This is a huge, huge deal for any serious project. And to bring it all together, there's a new desktop app. Just think of it as this beautiful, slick command center for all your AI development. It lets you manage your coding agents right next to your chats so you don't have a million different windows open. You can run things on your local machine, run them in the cloud, all from one clean interface. So, with all these new capabilities, the really big question is, how should you actually use all this? Well, the source material lays out a really powerful new way to think about your workflow.
The idea is to treat your tools like a two-person team. You use the standard Claude chat interface as your CEO. This is where you do all the high-level thinking. You brainstorm, you plan your strategy, you come up with new ideas. Then, with a single click, you switch over to Claude Toad, your senior developer, who takes those brilliant plans and actually makes them real, building the app and fixing the bugs. In practice, this creates this really simple but powerful loop. You start with your CEO in chat mode, just throwing ideas at the wall. Once you find one you love, you hand it off to your senior dev in code mode to build version 1. And from there, it's just this back and forth flow. Back to the CEO for strategy, over to the senior dev to build it, and you just repeat that cycle until your dream app is a reality. And this brings up a really important point about where Opus 4.5 fits into the whole AI universe. For pure coding and for sharp business planning, yeah, it's the new king of the hill. But for other things, like maybe more creative, long-form writing, or getting the latest news, other specialized models might still be your best bet. It's all about using the right tool for the right job.
So we end right here with the question that this whole thing forces us to ask. For years, AI has kind of felt like a helpful intern, right? It's useful, but you've got to supervise it constantly. With what we're seeing from Opus 4.5, it really feels like we've crossed a major threshold. Based on all this, the question isn't if AI can be a senior developer anymore. The question is, what do we do now that it's here? The whole paradigm has just shifted.